Hey Flosstube, welcome back to my channel. It is October 10th and I almost forgot to do a Flosstube update. I did one the middle of September, a little bit earlier than I normally do, and then ran out of things to talk about and didn't have anything for the end of September. But now it's already almost the middle of October, and I don't want anyone to panic. So I'm back to do an update. I do have some things to show. I have made some progress, so I do think this will be a good length of video. Hope everybody is having a good transition into your next season. I am finally accepting the fact that it's not summer and that fall is here, and that's mostly because fall is not here yet. It has been in the 80s pretty much since my last update. We had a couple cool days and some rain, and then it's just been hot and humid and summery, so I have not had to adjust. I have purchased some fall scented candles. Today is rainy and overcast, and it's supposed to get chilly after today, so I think I'm good on the accepting of the fact that it's fall. I've got some Halloween decorations up. I need to pull the rest up today from the basement. So things are progressing normally there. I still don't really want to put socks and shoes on. I like having sandals on, but we'll see what happens. The first thing I want to show you is a fully finished object. I finished my pumpkin, the primitive hair trick-or-treat pumpkin. And this was the first piece that I took to the new framer since my local LNS Keepsakes has stopped doing framing. I asked her how she finished, and she said she laced her pieces. She used to own a needle workshop, so I was pretty confident leaving my piece there. And actually, when I picked it up, I was super, well, here's the deal. When I would take things to Barbara, we would lay everything out on the table with all the things that I thought I would like to frame it with. And then Barbara would put half of them back, pull her own, and eventually I'd end up picking something that she picked. So the thought of going to a new place with somebody who may not be, what's the right word, as accommodating with someone who is so indecisive about things like that, because it's hard to look at a little piece of framing, a little corner piece, and decide how that's going to look around your whole piece. But the owner of this shop was very, very helpful. The process went very quickly. I settled on a frame that was quite wide compared to a lot of the things I pick, and I was really nervous about it. The frame molding actually came in a smaller width, but I decided to go for it with the big frame. And I'm so glad that I did. So here is my piece. And it's a 3-inch wide frame. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it as well as it shows up, but it's got just some cool distressing. It looks like old wood. It's museum glass, so there's not much glare. Maybe if I back up, you'll actually be able to see the detail a little bit better. And the greatest thing, oh yeah, there. So it's kind of like a blackish brown, grayish brown black, kind of goes with the hat really well. The best thing that I really appreciated was that she took pictures while she was lacing the piece and saved them on her phone for me to show me that she really, how she laced it, and I appreciated that. Not that I didn't trust her, but it is nice to see somebody understand why it's so important that it's prepared properly before you spend all that money on framing. So I am super happy with that frame. I love the way it looks. I have a friend who had a piece framed there. It was a sampler, and she said it was quite crooked. So it makes me a little nervous. I don't know what happened there. I think I will go back there with another piece. It's hard to find a good framer. It's hard to find somebody that A, is close enough to you, is relatively affordable, and knows what they're doing. So I'm hoping that I continue to have good experiences. So that is the first thing. I have 2 quick shout outs that I forgot or maybe didn't know. Let's just pretend like I didn't say that. I have 2 quick shout outs. I keep forgetting to shout out StitchingProse. I'll put her channel below. She only has a couple videos out. She's a relatively newer stitcher and a new floss tuber, so check her out. And then I've mentioned BroadwayStitcher before, but she has a video out that's an unboxing, and this is the enabling portion of the video. So it's an ornament club that she belongs to. It's not cross stitch. I honestly don't know what it is. It's basically folding pieces of fabric to make these little ornaments, and the mold is included, that you're kind of molding fabric around either the ornament ball. She showed one that she got that was a pineapple. I will try to link the actual video below. It's a kit that you sign up for. If you sign up for it through the link in her video, she gets a credit from the shop. I almost signed up for it, but it's a little bit more involved. Like, it doesn't look like something that you could sit down and do for an hour and then walk away from, like with cross stitch. It looks like you kind of have to follow it through. The details or the directions are very detailed, and it doesn't look like it's hard. It just looks like it's a little time consuming for me. But I was very closely enabled to join it because the ornaments are really, really, really cute. So I will link that below. Go over to BroadwayStitcher's channel if you're not already following her. Subscribe to her channel because she has some great stitching ideas. But this one is specifically for an ornament club that is not cross-stitch related that she belongs to. But I think if you quilt or do any other crafts, you will appreciate this ornament club. Okay, so let me show you some, let's do purchases next because I don't have very many. I purchased, when I did the giveaway, the hedgehog giveaway, I purchased an extra hedgehog pattern because I had seen another Reolist kit somewhere online that I liked, and I found it in the seller from Russia that had this kit, also had the extra hedgehog kit. And so I bought, actually, is this Reolist? This may not be a Reolist kit. Anyways, it's this, herbs, and these little tags that you put the actual name on there, you punch out, and they are in English. So sage, peppermint, chives, basil. This looks like it's the same fabric as the Reolist kits that I've stitched, which I don't like. But the colors are really pretty. You can see some pinks and purples. So we'll try that. And then I got my little hedgehog kit. I also got, sorry, I should put my bag up here. There, so you're just not looking at my blank wall. I purchased, this is from the Trilogy. It's a take-along, so everything's included. It's called Frightfully Fun. That's really cute. Considering I have 3 little babies in the basement. They don't look like that, though. And I'll tell you about those little guys later. So it came with the fabric. It came with the floss, enough floss, a hand-dyed floss that you need. So I don't know that I'm going to stitch that this Halloween season. That big pumpkin was enough, and I've got some other Halloween things that I'd like to get to someday, but I think I'm moving on from Halloween right now. Right now I'm just decorating for Halloween. I'm not stitching Halloween. Okay, so I purchased that. I guess that's about it. I purchased the Cross Stitch Ornament magazine. I'm sure you guys have seen that by now. Yeah, I don't really have very many purchases this month because I just want to get some stuff done. I did receive a few very, very sweet gifts. And these two I forgot to say in my last video. So I had actually received these a while ago and completely forgot to say anything. And so ladies, I apologize. I got this kit, Cardinal Basket, from Melanie Smith, Yarns and Threads. She received a bunch of things from a friend whose mother had passed away, I believe, and she wasn't going to use the cross-stitch thing, so she passed them to Melanie. Melanie said this was cute, but she'd never stitch it, so she passed it to me. This is from Imaginating, who I think is in Dayton, but when they did this, they were in Rootstown, which is near where I grew up, so that's kind of fun. And that's a kit, so it's got the DMC and the fabric in there. So thank you, Melanie, for sending me that. And then I also received a very sweet pattern from a lady named Helen. She messaged me and said, I have a pattern that I was stitching, but I don't have a use for it anymore. And so I want to send it to you. So she sent all the floss that's already bobbinated. And this pattern, which I'm not going to show you, but it's laminated and blown up, so it's huge. And this is what the pattern looks like. And it says veterinarian. That's cute. And then I could put my name underneath there if I wanted to. So thank you, Helen, for sending me that. And then I got from Canada from Craft and Chris. She has a few videos out. She's a veterinarian in Canada. And in my last video, I said I really enjoyed talking with her because we never talked work. And ever since then, we've had like 4 conversations about work, which needed to be done. It was just funny that, you know, we've never talked about work, and then we had nothing but veterinary conversation. So she sent me this cute little card. I used to want a tricolor corgi. When I first got out of vet school, that was going to be the first dog I ever got. And fate brought me my little Mayday half-dead puppy, and so I ended up with a pit bull dog instead of a corgi dog. And I'm probably fine because these guys are little stubborn jerks sometimes. If you have corgis, don't be offended. You know what I mean. They're very sweet, but they can be jerks. So she sent me, Chris sent me some dish towels that she found. These are hysterical. So untoasted, toasted, burnt. I love the tricolor corgis. And then these. She sent me some chocolates, and she made me the teeniest, tiniest, cutest Biscornu with little cardinals on it. And it's tiny. I mean, it is so adorable. So I think for Christmas, I will set this on my tree, like just, you know, kind of nestle it, or maybe find a little nest for it. How cute would that be? So thank you, Chris, for all these things. That was very, very sweet of you, and I enjoyed all the things that you sent. Okay, so that is all that hold on, what is this? Oh, this is another purchase. I said I wasn't going to purchase anything else because I don't need anything else. And then I don't even know why I was on Beach Cottage Stitcher's website and they had a 20% off sale. And so I got the new hands-on design, put a hat on it with the velour. I'll stitch these in the little round. I also got the pins that go with it. Again, I have no plans to stitch this anytime soon because I'm done stitching Halloween for this year. So that's that. That's everything in my bag, right? Yeah. Okay, progress. So on October 1st, the Hedgehog SAL that Ginger, Gerald, Stitcher, and I started. And so he and I are both stitching this pattern, but you can stitch anything with a hedgehog if you want to participate. There's no Facebook group for it or anything, but there is a hashtag Hedgehog SAL if you are on Instagram. And I'm going to show you a brief peek of this pattern because it is banana pants. Steph's word, banana pants. Normally I just say bananas. Pants came out because of Steph. Look at that. Seriously, with all the colors. Gerald keeps saying that once I get into a rhythm of it, it'll be fine, but there are lots of colors. You know me, people. I don't do for this full coverage nonsense. And now where is the pattern? Everything came out of this bag except my progress. Basically, I have stitched this here and gone to here. I mean, honestly, if I had it here and showed it to you, you wouldn't even know it was this pattern because I haven't made much progress. I went to a retreat last weekend. It was a local retreat about a little less than an hour from my house. There is a local stitching group of ladies called the Tiara Stitching Club in Cincinnati, and this is their annual retreat. This is the first year I've gone. It's very laid back. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's at a retreat center in Indiana, kind of in the middle of nowhere, but not very far from the highway, but you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. You know, leave your phone in your room kind of thing. It was weird because Keepsake's retreat is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I usually go up Wednesday. Some people go up Wednesday. And that's the only retreat I've gone to besides StitchCon. And StitchCon really wasn't a stitching retreat for me. It was a socialization retreat for me. So Keepsake's retreat is really the only one I've been to, and I'm used to, you know, a 4 or 5 day long stretch. So having just 2 days really, it was kind of weird. I just couldn't, I got settled. It wasn't that I didn't get settled. What am I trying to say? It was just too fast. That's it. It was just too fast. But I had a good time. I must have had a good time because I didn't follow directions for the raffles. So there were raffle tickets you could buy for baskets and pick whatever baskets you wanted to enter your tickets in. There was also a table of door prizes, and you got one entry with your name tag. So the name tag, or their entries were those little raffle tickets that come in the big wheel. You rip them off, you enter one, and you keep one. Normally, I am a person who pays attention to detail, and it kind of drives me crazy when people don't pay attention to like basic directions. So I get there, I get myself all situated, I say hello to the people I know there, I get everything situated, and I think I'm going to get my raffle. So they started selling raffle tickets at whatever time. I bought my raffle tickets, I'm going to enter those now for my baskets and be done with that, and I'm going to enter for the door prizes and be done with that. So I put my ticket from my name tag in the basket, or the big, hopper or whatever to draw from. And so the next day, they're starting to draw for the raffles, and it hit me that I never put my name on the ticket for the door prizes before I entered it. And so I said to my friend Christy, I didn't put my name on there. And she said, you don't have to put your name on there. And I said, well, then how are they going to know it's my ticket if they pull it? And she flips her name tag over, and there's her little orange ticket that says, keep this coupon. And she said, you keep it. They've already put the other half in there. And I flipped my name tag around, which was empty, and said, no, mine's in there. I put it in the bucket yesterday. So, of course, I was telling this story to Pam and Steph and Tony and Judy and Sharon, telling them what a fool I was for not paying attention. And as I'm telling the story, one of the ladies who was in charge of organizing the retreat comes up, and so she hears me say this, and she said, well, I'll keep an eye out for the ticket that says keep this coupon, because everybody else's is going to say whatever it says, enter this coupon. And I'm like, what are the odds that my ticket's going to be pulled anyways, because there's like 60 people here. Well, my ticket got pulled, and I won Katrina Boyd's gift certificate to her shop. It's not good for her retreats. It's good for products in her shop. And she said I could keep it and use it like aftermarket next year. Just email her if there's something that I want, and she'll pick it up for me. So not only did my close group of people know what I had done, everybody knew what I did when that keep this coupon ticket got pulled, and nobody responded to the number that they called. And then, of course, the second half of my ticket got pulled as well. So then we had to, I've already gotten mine. Don't worry. I'm not taking two. Nobody panic, drama. Yeah. So I won a gift certificate to Katrina Boyd's shop. I got to meet and talk with Katrina for a little bit. She is as nice as everybody says she is. She's got a great little Tennessee accent. I also got to talk with Leslie LaFleur from Under the Sea Fabric. She was there. There were a couple other vendors there. I didn't buy anything. No fabric, no patterns. I just stitched and ate and stitched and ate. So, let me show you the progress. I did make some progress on my 'Tis the Season SAL. So I did change the colors because there is one color. I didn't bring this pattern either. I can't even get myself organized. So there are 3 different colors of green that are used. In the pattern, the green that's used for this leaf looks really dark green like these, but it's not. So I did pick a darker green, and I used the green that matched the silk as close as I could to that. And then I picked a third green because the third one is like a yellowish green, and we all know how I feel about yellow. I certainly didn't want yellow green in this vibrant Christmas pattern. However, I didn't realize until I was in like natural lighting at the retreat that the green that I picked for the yellow and this green are pretty close together, even though they're from different dyers. So I'm going to have to find a third green because it's not working out. However, look at those little berries. Those are our Algerian islets. I can say my words. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. There's a cross stitch all the way around, and then you Algerian eyelet into the center. So it looks really cool in person. Sorry if you can't see it. I am tired today. I have been up since 5 o'clock. I'm not normally up that early. Just had a really, really busy day, and I haven't had lunch, and I'm just worn out. Okay, on to the next drama, because there can't be cross stitch in my world if there's not drama. This is the Here Comes Santa Claus. And if you remember last time, I was so excited to show you the colors that I picked because I had gone with red. It didn't work out. So the reds that I picked, 814, 815, and then there needed to be a third one for the shading. We did 902. And they were pretty, but there was no shading. And so I picked it out and switched the colors with Sharon at the retreat and tried it again, and it didn't work. I think I picked it out twice because I picked out all that brown that I had stitched, and I picked out all the red because I didn't put the reds in the right order, so the shading wasn't showing up the way it should have. So I picked it out before I got to the Tiara retreat. I picked it out at the Tiara retreat and did the reds in the different order that Sharon and I rearranged so that you could see the shading. And by shading, I mean, see how his coat has like creases in the fabric. And so I just couldn't see it. And so I thought, I'm not doing this anymore. I want to make progress on this. It's for my mom for Christmas. I had tons of reds with me, but the problem with this is that it's not 3 coordinating greens. There are 2 brown greens, and then there's a very light green that's the actual fabric. And they don't look like they go together at all, but when you start putting them on this fabric, then you start to see where you can see the difference between coat and trim and creases in the fabric. And I just didn't have the mental energy to try to figure out a third red or pink that would go with those 2 darker ones to give the shading. So I did have the greens with me because I've carried all the colors for this silly thing the whole time I've had it, just in case. So here's my progress, because I just started using the greens. The light's not good in here today. Sorry. Okay. But at the retreat, I didn't have the heart to rip that red out a third time. So I left the red in and then started stitching the green. So the other half of that shoe had red all above it, like this other shoe does. And so people were coming around to me and saying, "Oh, that's pretty. What are you stitching? What pattern is that?" And I had to be sure to say, he's only supposed to be one color. He's not green and red. I just don't want to pull the red out. I tried to convert. It didn't work. So I had this out all the time to show people that this was not some psychedelic Santa. So he's just going to have to be green. Trust the designer, right? I saw pictures of 2 different people at my table who had stitched this, and it's quite green when it's done. I mean, it's still very primitive green, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I will lose my mind if I try to figure out those reds again, and I need to get that done. And then I also stitched a teeny tiny bit on Sunday on a project you have never seen before because I forgot I had it. So you know how I'm not a big fan of all of the words. So I'm not going to call this anything except the project that I forgot I had. This is by Primrose Needleworks. It's called Autumn in New York. I absolutely love this pattern. And I had made progress on this, I don't know, a year or more ago. Here is where I am. I didn't get a whole lot done Sunday because Sunday was just kind of like, eat, pack your car, clean out your room, check out. But I still made some progress. I got the grass done. So that's where I am. This needle minder is from Retromantics. They have really cool stuff. I think they're still on Etsy. I'll try to list their link below, even if they're not on Etsy. And then this awesome maple leaf was made by my friend Sharon. She was selling these at the retreat. She did different colored maple leaves, like they're changing colors. And then I showed you before the pumpkin that she made me. So she had her pumpkins, but she also had white pumpkins, and they were really, really cool. And so if you feel like you need one of these, let me know. I will see how I can get them sold for Sharon. Sharon, if you're watching, I just promoted your needle minder. Start making more, girl. So that is my progress. I think that's all I have as far as stitching. Progress, purchases, finished piece. Oh, hello to my Columbus ladies who came down for Tiara. They also come down for the Keepsakes Winter Retreat, and some of them were at StitchCon. So hello, ladies. It was great to see you again. Hope you guys had a safe trip, and hope to see you. Well, I know you said you're coming, so I'll see you in 3 short months when we stitch in the winter. Okay, kittens. Do you want to hear about my baby kittens? Okay, so if you don't want to hear about kittens, then you can stop the video now because I think that's all I have to talk about is kittens. Plans, I don't have plans. My plans are get it moving on that Santa and keep going with the 'Tis the Season, SAL, and this. Why do I keep doing this Riolus nonsense to myself? Because they're so flippin' cute, that's why. But these patterns, whew. Oh, you should see my pattern for the Santa because it's all printed in dark colors, and so I can't pencil over it, and I don't highlight. So I've penciled so much over where I've stitched that I've worn the ink off the paper. So if I screw up, I'm going to have to buy another pattern because there's no erasing and going back. Okay, kittens. So my kittens are here. They are 2.5 weeks old. They were born September 22nd, literally as I was getting ready for work. So it was a Saturday. I work from 8 until like 12:30, 1 o'clock. So in the mornings, I go down in the basement to feed Mama Kitty. And she usually greets me at the bottom of the steps. But if she doesn't, she's usually coming toward the steps as I come down into the basement. None of that happened. And I thought she had these babies. So I go look in the nice crate. I set up my Mayday's old dog crate. It was a huge crate, padded it, quiet, darker part of my main basement. No, of course she didn't have them there. I checked another area that I had kind of prepared that was a little bit more hidden. No, she didn't have them there. So I got up in my crawl space, and I'm going to try and explain my crawl space to you because it's not what other people think of as a crawl space. So when my house was built, my basement is the whole house, but half the basement is like a regular basement. Like you could finish it, you could store stuff in it, it's a whole basement. The other half of my house is what's considered a crawl space where they poured concrete up to about 3.5 or 4 feet but didn't finish it out. Apparently that's cheaper to pour concrete and fill up half the space than to just excavate the space and make it a basement. I don't know. Anyways, I have to use a step ladder to get up into my crawl space, and that's where like all the Christmas stuff is stored and, boxes that Brian won't let me throw away because we might need that TV box that we bought 10 years ago. And when I get up there, I can stand up, but I can't, I have to keep my head like this. So I can walk in there, but it's a tight fit, and I'm only 5'2". And there are 2 light bulbs there, but the back one is burnt out, and we never go back there, so I've never replaced it. So I finally find her in the farthest, darkest, dirtiest corner of the crawl space. And she's literally in the corner. These little babies are in the corner, and they're soaking wet. She just had them. So I go get puppy pads to kind of absorb the moisture and get them up, and they're cold, because they're on the freaking concrete, mama. So I scoop them all up. There were 3 of them, a black one and 2 black and white ones. Scoop them all up, and I move them down out of the crawl space into the carrier. And she follows me, and she gets in there with me, no problem. And I'm like, you could clean them up. They're wet, they're cold, they're mewling. I have to go to work. Okay, Brian didn't work that day. He was still asleep, so I sent him a text and said the babies are here. Please check on her more frequently than we have been. So at 10:30, he texts me and says she's trying to move him into the crawl space. He heard mewing, and he went down there, and there was a little baby on the concrete crying. So he moves him, and I said, lock her in the crate, because we had just let her come and go. Lock her in the crate. I'll be home in a couple hours, and we'll go from there. So I get home. She's mewing and mewing and mewing. I let her out. She eats. She comes upstairs. She's mewing and mewing and mewing, and I can't figure out what is going on with her. She just keeps talking and talking, and she's not down there with the babies, and they shisha-wee with the babies all the time for the first week. So finally, we got her a little settled down. I don't know if I was petting her or if I just was like, I don't know what to do for you, mama. I went and took a nap. Brian said she tried to move him 2 more times while I was napping. And the 3rd time he tried to move him back, she attacked him. She went after his foot. She was hissing. So he just built up like a little closed off space in the crawl space, patted it with towels because that's where she wants him. So until this past Sunday, we have both been getting up in the crawl space multiple times a day to check on the babies, make sure they're, staying where they're supposed to be, that they're not getting on the concrete. And she's with them most of the time. She's a very good mama. She lets me hold them. And then they immediately get a bath after I give them back to her because I'm a foul human. So they get bathed all the time because I'm always squeezing them. But, so I go to work and I said, she had her babies this morning, a black one and 2 black and white ones. I get home and I go to see them. And there were 2 black and white ones and a gray one because that little gray one was still wet and he looked black. So she cleaned them all up and dried them up and he's gray. So they're all boys. I will insert some pictures at the end of this video. I have a little video of her. I moved the kittens Sunday when I got back from the retreat. They're starting to move a lot. And I don't want them eventually getting to the point where they're, going to hurt themselves. It's a long way from where they are to the edge of the crawl space, but they're growing quickly. So I moved them Sunday. I have a little video of her after I moved them. She was complaining a lot, but she has left them there. The black and white ones are getting better about being held. The gray one's still real fussy. He cries all the time when you pick him up, and he doesn't like being snuggled as much as the other 2. And then, she comes running to save them from the foul human, and then they have to get a bath. So no plans to keep anybody. Brian and I have talked about keeping Mama Cat, but I don't know that she cares about us. She's not really interested in us. She'll come up here at night and kind of hang out, but she doesn't want to sit with us, or she just wants us to feed her and sit in the window. So I don't know. We may or may not keep her. If she can find a good home, that's fine with me. I don't need to keep any of them. But the babies are here, and they're super cute, and there were only 3, so I thought she was going to have 4, maybe 5 in there, but there were only 3. So I'll put some pictures here. They'll be 3 weeks old this Saturday. Eyes and ears are open, and they're starting to kind of chew on their feet and groom and kind of swing at each other, so they're starting to get into that really cute phase. Okay, that's all I got. I will hopefully have some progress to do another video at the end of October, although that's only like 2.5 weeks away. But I will link everything below, and if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, thanks for stopping by. I'll see you soon. Bye.